everybody. It is 7:16. We are going to call our board meeting to order. Welcome everybody and your smiling faces. Tonight's meeting will be recorded and uploaded to our district's YouTube channel. The link is on our district website and tonight's agenda for transparency purposes to keep our citizens informed and for convenience. Citizens must be present to participate in the meeting during citizens' comments. Those wishing to speak must also fill out a comment form on the table out in the hallway and submit it to Mrs. Rios here in the back, either at item number 8 pertaining to the agenda items or item number 11 pertaining to non-agenda items. For all of those who are able, if you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Kathy, roll call, please.
President Warren.
Here.
Vice President Olivia.
Here.
Secretary Lukey. Present. Treasurer Martin.
Here.
Trustee Klein.
Here.
Trustee McDonald. Here. And Trustee Babbage is absent.
Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda today? I would like to add one, 5A, for a student presentation from the high school. Any others? All right. Now I'm looking for approval of the consent agenda items.
So moved.
Support.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. So last month I asked, and I saw this on our packet, for financial data regarding the bond, where we stand. So just a reminder, still kind of waiting.
Yeah, I've just needed one update in the blog today.
Yeah, so
yeah, and then we're working on the one sheet. Okay, that to you guys.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so pursue the consent agenda item. I was looking for unanimous consent, but I love your guys' consent. So is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. It was, by the way, moved by Mike and supported by Jeanette. I appreciate you both very much. Thank you. All right, and then that will take us to 5A, which is our student presentation. Braden Burns. Hi, Braden.
Hi, Braden. Welcome. Hi. Good evening. My name is Braden Burns, and I'm the president for the class of 2027. And I will be presenting some of the great things that are going on at the high school. All 4 classes have been working on their float and organizing fundraisers throughout the fall and the summer. Student Council as a whole has been planning homecoming festivities. The Christian Club has not yet met, but they will be meeting on September 15th. The Art Club is just getting started and building membership. Band performed at the Wayne State Amazon Prep Kickoff and has been performing halftime shows, and they are preparing the national anthem for the homecoming pep assembly. Interact had their first meeting this week, and they plan to do a coat check at homecoming, and they also plan to be in the homecoming parade. Link Crew has worked with freshmen to ensure the start of their high school career went smoothly. Color Guard has been practicing and performing at football games, and the Drama Club has been preparing for their next production. D&D is having a meeting on the last Tuesday of the month, and Star Club is preparing for back to school night. I didn't have much information from any clubs as it's only the second week of school and they haven't met yet, but that's the updates that I have. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Braden. Hey, Braden, random question. Do you know if there's going to be coffee at Meet the Teacher at the high school?
I'm not sure.
Okay, sometimes one of you guys.
That does it.
Okay, that was my question. Somebody's always doing it to make money for their class, so I was hoping that you were going to be like, yeah, that's us. Go buy coffee. All right, hopefully it's the seniors. All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming. It is up to you, but we know school just started and you have lots of homework already, so you are already excused. If you wish to leave now, you can. Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great one. Good luck on that homework. They're all juniors, so we know how we know
All the best here.
they came to get credit for their.
Yeah, by attending treasurer.
All right, so that then takes us to the president's communication, which is me for Barton Mallow's update.
Ooh, look at that.
Sorry, I'm reading the thing that says, do not ask for this, and I did. Sorry, Kathy. That's all on me today. All right, so from Barton Mallow's update, we have the Allen Park Middle School. So innovation renovations, the outdoor canopy, food service equipment, and mechanical equipment replacement. The activities that we did are, all work is substantially completed and has been approved by the state inspector for full occupancy, which is awesome. So, the kiddos are ready to go. They do miss the football field. I was told that
Yeah.
4 times today. Which I mean is if you go to the last picture, right there where you see the yellow, that is where the kids like to play football in the morning, and it is now seated, so we can get grass. All right, then that takes us to the high school. Thank you so much. We have our interior renovations and mechanical equipment replacement. All work here has also been completed and has been approved by the state inspectors for full occupancy. And then the parking lot replacement at the high school, all parking lots now substantially are complete. The doors and final paint for the salt dome is in progress. The fencing around the operations lot is in progress, and the bleacher pads for the baseball fields are in progress. Thank goodness, because those were so bad. The Allen Park High School and middle school, the work to complete still. The middle school still needs the boiler room, the final boiler tie-ins and testings. The site work is the operations lot fencing, the multiplex gym AC unit and fencing, the building trades rooftop AC unit crossover, and temperature controls the final testing and integration.
That's it.
And that is all from Barton Malow. All right, that takes us to the next item, which is reading of communications. Mrs. Lukey.
Thank you. I'd like to share a thank you card with the board that was received from the family of retiree Diane Kaminsky. Dear friends, thank you for your thoughts, prayers, and kindness during this difficult time. Thank you so much for the beautiful living planter for my sister Diane. It warmed my heart to see your flowers. I have transplanted each one. There were 7 different plants, one for each day of the week, and I will always care for them so that my sister and her education legacy can live on. From the family of Diane Josephine Kaminsky, Bonnie, and Michael.
Very nice.
She was a fabulous teacher. I had her 8th grade algebra when North and South middle schools merged. She brought everyone together, and
Yeah, she's
I really enjoyed. I've been out of school for a while.
Yeah, when I started in 2005, she was a counselor. Yeah,
Yes.
at the high school. But, yeah.
Well, she was buds with Mr. Powell.
Yeah, very much so.
They did not miss a single week
Yeah.
going out for dinner.
Is he
Yeah.
so sad?
He's not so sad, it's just, I'm getting more phone calls.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
you-
Yeah, right.
Your role
I'm
as
His
filling
buddy.
the gap.
He's on call as his other buddy.
But,
Yeah.
So sad.
there.
Yeah.
My favorite story about her is, Diane was a one-person show with scheduling. She would just hole up in her office and she, just meticulous about everything and get everything all arranged for us. So if one of her students came in with an issue, look out her little side light, go see McDonald.
She scheduled it.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah,
Go
that's
see
funny.
McDonald. This
That's
one's
funny.
too much.
That's fun.
Oh, God bless her.
Yeah.
All right, well, that takes us to item number 8, special presentation, and that is you, Heather. It's after, I'm like going
Oh,
by
I
the
see.
agenda
Isn't-
versus
yep.
this,
Okay.
so it's after.
Gotcha.
Well, this is, we're missing one here.
Okay.
Yeah, I missed it on the agenda.
Yep.
So we wanted to update you on our state assessment results for Allen Park. Tonight's presentation will only contain what is reportable and what we are held accountable through state reporting and accountability index. So everything from this data presentation comes from My School Data, which is publicly accessible data dashboard that CEPI supports through Michigan Department of Education and other reporting systems. So this is really to update our stakeholders on the academic progress of our students, and will include MSTEP data as well as PSAT, SAT data. And I want to point out that we're going to see some amazing successes and things that we should celebrate, but we also recognize that there are opportunities for work and improvement to be done across our buildings. And some of the ways in which we plan to move forward with those are to continue professional learning for our teachers that's aligned towards our district goals, as well as staff needs, provide coaching, which is really personalized professional learning for individual teachers, and provide district and building level time for teacher collaboration. We're also going to continue to provide time for our teachers and staff to review, monitor, and adjust curriculum instruction as assessment, as well as continue to support our administrators to be instructional building leaders. I like to start out big picture and kind of go more granular. So as a district, our enrollment has kind of fluctuated over the past 5 years, but we are back on the upswing. As of last year, our numbers were at just over 3,700. So we are increasing. Our student groups are also changing. So looking at our economically disadvantaged, or most notably known as like free and reduced lunch, our percent of students who are qualifying for that has increased over the past 5 years. Our multilingual or English learner population has also continued to grow, especially like almost doubled over the last 5 years, which is something that we have noticed, and we have staff to support our students, but it's something that we are going to continue to keep an eye on in case we need additional supports for those students. As well as our students with disabilities, we've noticed an increase in students who have IEPs and need additional supports beyond the general ed classroom. So, it looks yellow. It's green. It's green on my screen. I'll have to play with that next time. So I included state, ISD, which is our Wayne County, and then the last 4 years of our data for, this is ELA, or evidence-based reading and writing, which that's 8th grade and 11th grade. And you'll see where it's yellow but green on my screen. Those were the areas that we showed an increase from the previous year. And notably, we're doing much better than the state as well as the ISD. So
Middle school's
The
killing
middle
it.
school, yeah, middle school's crushing it.
Wow.
8th grade, right?
And compared to 23, 24, right?
I mean, and compared to
Yeah.
21,
Yeah,
22, holy
yeah,
smokes.
it's really
Yep.
going up.
Yep. Definitely good things happening, but also recognizing it's a culmination, because
Yeah.
PSAT is that disciplinary reading, so really thinking about how our science and social studies teachers as well as our mathematics teachers are playing a role in that,
Right.
but also those foundational pieces that our K-5 buildings have set up in place to really tee up our middle schoolers for success on the PSAT.
Huh.
I was excited about 8th grade.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive. If we'll flip to, this is mathematics, and this is, again, all students. Again, sorry about the yellow, but it's green. But anything in yellow is an increase from the previous year.
Yeah.
But you're right, if you look at that data.
It's fascinating that it's not as simple as 8th grade, a strong class.
No.
It's not that simple.
No.
You're
Something.
not.
No.
And this is last year's
Yes,
8th grade class,
it is.
right?
Yep, so our current freshmen.
That's crazy.
Math is hard. But something to note, for 8th and 11th grade, the tests are timed versus MSTEP, which is untimed, and kids can have as many breaks as they want. PSAT and SAT are very regimented in how it's delivered in a very standardized manner. So that's something to also continue
I look at 8th grade, so for 2024, 2025, right?
Mhm.
So that means the current high school freshmen. And then I look at 8th grade for 2023, 2024, is that still the same cohort, or is that our current sophomores?
Those are our current sophomores.
Okay, just wanna make sure I'm understanding it.
So this is really just looking year to year, it's not looking at a cohort,
Cohort, okay.
a cohort of students. But we could, if you look at that 21, 22 year.
Right.
In the far right corner,
Keep
if you
going.
follow
Keep
down the
going.
diagonal,
Yep.
you could
Yeah.
almost cohort the
Yep.
kids. Mhm.
So
Thanks.
what you're saying
I
is
got it.
21, 22, in third grade 40, then they go to 36.8.
36,
then
33,
33.8,
27.
Yeah, 27.8, yeah.
Mhm.
That transition from 5th to 6th is brutal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. But not so much the next year.
So you wonder where the
Cohort.
disconnect is on that, like that 5th to 6th grade transition, like why such a hit? You know, so it's good conversation.
Mhm.
Honestly, the mathematics are different between 5th and 6th grade. My daughter
Yeah.
struggled in 5th grade with math, but then when she got to 6th grade,
It's like-
anecdotally, she reported that things were easier.
Yeah.
And so it almost makes me wonder a little bit about like the emphasis of whatever is being emphasized on 5th grade mathematics, how it's laying the foundation for future,
grade, yeah.
future mathematics. But she anecdotally said it was hard, and when we get to our, when we do our district comparisons with the downriver districts, you'll see that the data is pretty consistent across that, so it looks very consistent.
So when we look at, I'm just curious, so when we look at from like your lens and curriculum, and I asked Dr. Tefelsky the same questions, but if we were to go to a different district that showed really positive scores, and we did a correlation of what they were offered in elementary math compared to their middle school, are we in line? Like, I'm just curious, I wonder if we're in line with our program compared to what they would be doing.
I mean, we have a pretty robust K-12 mathematics
Yeah.
because we use the Big Ideas Math
Right.
curriculum, so it's already kind of streamlined right there, whereas a lot of programs, I'll speak because I know of Gibraltar's, like
Yeah.
they use different things at different levels.
Right.
So it's not as streamlined like Big Ideas
As ours is,
is.
right.
Like
How
ours
much time
is-
per week are they spending in math in like the 5th
Isn't
grade?
that block, right? They have
Yeah,
that.
They have a
block,
block,
Yeah, it's a really
What's
big
the
block.
hour?
I can
per
tell you
week?
from last year, it was quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's
Math and
the
English
biggest
were the,
block.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
they
90
really-
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, just a big.
90 minutes through the week.
No,
No,
through the day.
the
Okay,
day.
yeah.
A day. So ELA and math blocks they take
Those
the
were the
most
biggest.
time
Biggest ones.
at the elementary level. And then when we get to the secondary levels, it's the bell schedule that dictates the amount of time.
And we've had Big Ideas Math now for a few years.
Several years, yeah.
Still interesting how we see the drop though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounds like everything's in line, but the scores are reflected.
These are our science scores. So science, just remember, as you know, science is only tested in 5th, 8th, and 11th grades. If I ruled the world, we would test it every year because what gets tested
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's taught.
gets
It's
taught.
taught.
But what's
Um,
interesting is that in 8th grade, it went up, and I just know that so much of science involves math.
Mhm.
Yes.
So, I mean, they're able to apply it, however that be, you know,
Mhm.
whether it's measurements, graphing, whatever, I don't know.
There
If
was
you look
some
at the
re-
cohort again, you go 43.5 down to 35.7 by the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we are above the state
Yeah.
in everyone and ISD and everyone.
And
Yeah.
science is tough too.
Yeah.
Science is hard, and even before Dr. Tefelsky left, I knew Allen Park was focusing a lot on science, not only because it's a content area that gives kids a compelling reason to read, write, speak, and listen, but also because it provides a pathway into careers, truthfully. So when, in a lot of schools, science and social studies are often pushed to the side, like you probably know, you probably have seen this, they're often pushed to the side, and we are choosing to place an emphasis on science and social studies, so I'm quite pleased. I know they're not the greatest numbers, but I'm pleased to see that we have almost half of our kids in 5th and 8th grade scoring proficient on the science assessment. And I'll other districts across the county, even and across the state, Wayne County typically has the lowest science proficiency within the state of Michigan, which is detrimental because we have so many universities, we have
Right.
hospitals, we have, Ford, GM, we have so many opportunities to apply science. It saddens me that we weren't seeing the scores. So this is exciting that
And
we are seeing,
you have the world's largest chemical company right here in Wyandotte.
right. I mean,
There you go.
I think of you every time I drive by.
I think of that, I drive by your school every day.
Thank you. Please pray
Even all the
when you go
sports
by.
we have and all the opportunities for, sports stocks and,
Everything.
Yeah.
PT, OT, all those
Yeah.
things.
Sure.
now the shift is, it does require three-dimensional teaching of science, which is different than how I learned science. I learned science by reading it out of a textbook, and this means kids are actually doing science. And so our STEM labs are contributing to some of the success as well. But also we have Mary McMaster, who's helping to facilitate science and coaching science with our elementary, middle, and high school teachers. But also really thinking about how we shift toward more three-dimensional science versus, okay, we're gonna read about science today.
Right.
We want kids actually doing science, and it's clear kids are actually doing science. This is social studies. I highlighted this one because there was some realignment with the standards setting with social studies. So this is actually the first year. This is like considered a baseline year. So I want us to really think about 24-25 as our baseline moving forward.
Okay.
So next year, when we compare this year's numbers, we can compare it to 24 and 25.
Yeah, cause this one's so good.
Yeah, it's more
not-
aligned.
Yeah.
It's more aligned.
And it'll be interesting to see, cause I know, for example, our district, like you said, was doing AP for all. So AP Hug started
Yeah.
2 years ago, right? Like this is its third run, which is a 9th grade AP class. So obviously other grades, but 9th graders could take it. And, then 10th grade, they have A-Push. So it'll be interesting to see if those numbers go up, allowing, because I know a lot of kids that took that class that might not have never tried for an AP
Right.
class. So that was pretty neat.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
This is a great improvement from over 21 to 23 to 24.
For sure.
You look at the 5th graders in 21, 22, and if I'm reading this correctly, they're now in 8th grade at 48% versus 15. That's amazing.
Look at that 2022-23 cohort. If you go, that wouldn't work the same. No, sorry.
No, but you get
One more year.
1 year.
Yeah.
But we're definitely seeing some good gains. This is the breakdown by building. We'll start with Arno. So everything is broken down by ELA, mathematics, science, and social studies, and then the last 4 years. So again, in yellow is where we see an increase from the previous administration. But if you go along the diagonal, you could follow a cohort of students.
Right. Arno does good.
What's up with our 3rd graders in 22-23? Good grief.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
They were killing it.
But then they dropped in 4th grade.
And 5th.
Fifth.
And
fifth,
fifth.
yes,
Third,
that was
fourth,
the
Almost
question.
half in
Yeah.
math.
In math.
John,
Yeah.
a year and a half ago,
Great.
he said, he was, same as we're sitting here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question, but why is it happening?
When did we implement Big Ideas? Was it 23-24?
It started with one group, if I remember
Right.
correctly, first the middle school, and then it was incorporated
Right, yeah,
across
it
the
didn't go
board.
nationwide, it
So
didn't
it's
go
been in
across.
steps. So I
Is that
think
23, 24, or 22, 23?
I think 23-24 is when elementary started.
Okay.
I think that was their first year.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how
Yeah.
it plays out, that they're consistently using one.
It's crazy. It's good though.
Well,
have
and
that.
Share the wealth.
Yeah, well, that's the discussions that they do have with the principals. It's interesting, because again, it's, you're within 4 square miles.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so it's, it's not a have nod, you know what I mean?
No.
So it's like, you just wonder, what is happening, and they have the same resources, so I agree, we gotta figure it out.
You ever track to see how that carries, so the same, do Benny kids, First Arnold kids, First Lindenman kids, how do they land when they leave 12th grade? In other words, are the gains temporary, or do they hold through high school?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
It would be.
Yeah, is it like
Yeah.
a Arno phenomenon
Yeah,
or?
Right.
I mean, Arnold
I
does.
know since Steve came in,
Yeah, and Arnold's been
he's
killing it.
really been working with the
Yeah.
teachers and that, and, and Arno was, back in the day, the most social economically,
it was.
deprived area, I guess. I don't know if deprived is a good word, but,
They did this job.
as another
Yeah.
piece of the puzzle, and they've just been
Killed it.
knocking it out of the park.
Because when I was at Lindeman, it was Lindeman, then Benny, then Arnold. At that time, it was flipped
Yeah.
right around.
And then this is Lindeman. Seeing some good gains here too.
Yeah.
Look at math. No.
Mm-hmm.
And those math coaches have been worth their weight in gold.
Yep.
Well, we still have a decline from 3rd to 5th in math
Yeah.
slightly, it's not as significant, but it's interesting. But there's still good scores going left to right to left, I guess, that's great.
So it's also interesting, like, even with our coaches though, because if you talk to all 3 coaches, there is differences in each building. Which is, and there's a dynamic within every building has their own personality, right? But you gotta wonder, it's like, if it's a district initiated program, why is there differences? But the coach will tell you, no, we do this over here, but they don't do it over there. And you're kinda like, what? You just.
Why, it's working
Yeah,
over
why it's
here.
working.
It's
Yeah,
working
it's just-
over
it's-
there.
It's interesting,
As
you know.
a
it's-
suggestion, let's, try
Yeah.
this
Kinda,
one.
yeah, it's, so it is interesting to have those discussions of, finding that, again, that little bit of a disconnect, figuring that out.
Here's our middle school.
Huh.
Look at that.
Wow.
I know.
And again, kudos
Walmart.
to Pat, the administration, Pat's doing a fabulous job of his leadership growth, the staff.
Yeah.
But look at even the
That's great.
diagonal,
That's great.
like you said,
Great schools.
28, 31, 77, I mean, it's huge.
That is,
English subject, that age grade score.
hope the math even improved, that's good.
Math
What are
even
they doing in
improved,
8th grade
19, 22,
English?
31.
And like you said, I'm looking at,
It's amazing.
cause of course, I feel like you always look at where your kid is at
Sure.
that year.
Yeah.
So my kid would've been in 7th grade, but, I remember him telling me the difficulty he had on his ELA test because it was timed. And at the end, and he's a slower test taker, and at the end, he was like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time,
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And his score did drop, but I mean, it's hard, when you're high, it's hard to stay up
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
But, I mean, his score did drop, having that time test where in 6th grade, he did have more time. Still timed, but
Yeah.
he had more.
Tell you what, and we saw a really big shift this last year at the middle school. We had that discussion of, especially with the administrative team, are you a building manager, or are you a building leader, are you a instructional leader or manager? There's a big difference. And we had that, and they also had, that's when Pat and Bruce also though, starting the year before, started inviting John over, and John was attending and going into every class with them, and really talking about what do I see as John Telfelski compared to what Pat and Bruce were seeing, so they could have their discussions with their teachers. And that continued, but they also spent time to go visit different buildings, different districts, and looking at different programs. Again, even small group instruction they were doing. Ronnie Vitsky and them embraced it. And so it's, a lot of things were really starting to click, and I think we're seeing that from the middle school's perspective of that growth. you know, when Pat first started, we spent the first several years of just building the rebuilding atmosphere and culture and trust administratively. Now they've really moved head first with the instructional aspect. I think that's what we're seeing of them saying, we want more. You know, they want to be much more intentional. And I'd love to see the scores like this, but it's great to see that happening, and I'm really proud of the entire team for embracing that.
What's nice is that it's showing up on their climate and culture survey
Yeah,
too.
for
Like
sure.
the teachers are saying,
Yeah.
we're ready to see data, we're ready
Yeah.
to like dig in and understand it and help us make instructional decisions. So
Right.
like Pat and Bruce doing
Yeah.
all of that legwork ahead of time is now like they're primed, they're ready to go.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. I think they're gonna have a good year this year.
Well, and again, just a couple years ago, when I met with the admin team, our middle school at that time was one of the lowest scores in Wayne County. Yeah, and so that was a really direct conversation of, and again, showing those scores to our teams and our teachers. You know, it's almost, we never think we're there. We're like, oh, okay, we're doing fine until you see black and white. Then you have the aha moment of like, whoa, like we can do better. You know, and I think they really have stepped up.
And here's our high school. So that top box is the total,
Wow.
like our composite percent proficient or percent who met or exceeded, and then broken down by content areas. So ELAs, evidence-based reading and writing, mathematics, and then science and social studies are the M-STEP part of
Wow.
state testing. So where it's yellow but green, where we see some improvement from the previous year. And social studies is our baseline year, so starting off strong.
I wonder what Mary would say about the science score. Just curious. I wonder if she would, you know.
Interesting to have the administrators here tonight while this is happening.
What's that?
I said it would have been interesting if the administrators were here this
Yeah.
evening while this is happening.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just get their perspective.
Mhm.
Mary has shared that the high school science team, they are really working hard to, they use modeling currently, but are really working hard to integrate Open SciEd.
Yeah.
So they're really working to make those shifts. So teachers are trying things,
Yeah, good.
which is really exciting that they are willing to do that, and they're working together as a 9-12 team
Right.
to make those shifts a reality. But it will take time because of, you know, where our comfort lies, but also trying something new and doing it kind of all the way through with fidelity and integrity that it's, you know, what it's intended for,
Yeah.
versus just picking and choosing what we like. So I think she would say that they're coming along.
Yeah. Very good.
This is, I know, what everybody wants to see, our comparison. This is ELA. I put us at the very top because that's where I think we are. That's where I think we are. And then I put Gibraltar second on our district comparison, because as we look at peer districts, they truly are
Yeah.
like an apples to apple type of peer in size, but also in free and reduced lunch, in demographics. So
That's good to see and know.
They are killing it in like elementary school.
I mean, that's really impressive.
That's where I've had faith in the process since the recognition.
Yeah.
You know, when Dr. Tofelsky would give us the updates,
Yeah.
you know, you would see it. And I guess I've kept the faith because that same person is now a superintendent of a school district. So
Yeah.
I'm
It's
imagining
work.
they also did
Yeah.
their homework.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
right, if they're gonna bring him on as a superintendent,
Yeah.
I'm sure they were evaluating
Oh, yeah,
this.
for sure.
So that's why I didn't have
Yeah.
a whole lot of concern about that other conversation we
Right.
had earlier.
This is paying off.
Yeah.
And I love to see that.
Yeah, even when the coaches were hired, I remember
Yeah.
the conversation in the room when it was voted to approve them. It's like,
Yeah.
we completely acknowledged in that moment, it will
It'll
take
take-
some time. Like,
Yeah.
this is a whole new thing that we were starting, we hadn't had it, so.
But it's also interesting that 8th grade phenomenon is happening in Gibraltar, is happening in Groseal, is happening in Wyandotte, is happening in Woodhaven, where they're getting Riverview, Lincoln, I mean, even Lincoln Park, even though their scores are lower, they're seeing like this 8th grade year, we're having these,
Big jump.
this
Yeah.
big,
Yeah.
huge jump,
Yeah.
which is strange.
Look at
What'd
that
you-
jump.
Right, what are those kiddos doing, man? That 8th grade class?
19 to 44.
Which is now the 9th grade
Southgate-
class, right?
Southgate too.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
funny.
Trenton.
All of them.
Trenton's huge. Oh, they all are. Really, they are too.
Wow, interesting.
But also, I mean, I liked seeing Groseal, see where Groseal is with 7th grade math. We're almost there.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, right, right.
And same with 6
I would
too,
like to
I mean, we're getting
Mhm.
there.
I can't help but
Yeah,
think it's
this-
some of the effects of COVID.
this is just
I know
ELA,
off
right?
in
Yeah, this is
normalcy
ELA.
being replaced.
I think so too.
I can't help but think it's not bad.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, the amount of supports that we have in place for our
Almost there.
teachers and our students.
There's one,
And
that's
from,
one score too.
and from what I understand, like universally, you know,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
it wasn't unique to us.
Yeah.
If you talk to anybody in the
Yeah.
stage,
We
you're
gotta
having the
keep up.
same
Yep.
struggles.
Yeah.
So those 7th graders were 2nd graders during COVID, then?
8th graders. Oh wait, yes, last year's, yes, they would have
Yeah.
been 7th graders, yep. They would have been 2nd graders.
So I just can't help but feel like there's a
Yeah.
correlation
Yeah, look at
between the
Riverview's,
normalcy finally
11th grade.
returning
You
and
know,
Yeah.
you even beat
all the
out
supports that
that's a
were
big jump.
added
Groseal.
to help make up for that
You know,
time.
the kids that were out during the
Mhm.
learn to read, not read to learn part of
Mhm.
school.
Yeah.
There has to be a correlation. This is mathematics. Again, we're at the top, cause that's where I think we are. But also scores are pretty consistent.
So 3rd grade, yeah. number 2.
Why do I only compare our scores to Lincoln?
Trend by 1 and 4.
Why do I do that? I don't know why.
Thank you.
Which one's that?
I always compare our scores to Woodhaven, I think it's to the scores.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, sport.
That's just, I've always,
I mean, when I
Yeah.
looked, it was Gibraltar, like when I did my own
Mhm.
peer comparison, it was Gibraltar, and then my good friend is the curriculum director over there, so now it's
Yeah,
become a
same,
competition,
we're
I'm
20,
like,
right, trend is 30.
Right.
always, for sure, always now.
Woodhaven,
So,
32.
Yeah.
yeah, I would be
But
that way.
36 is a big
teachers are
jump.
working hard, kids are working hard.
38 's a big one.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Here's our science.
You could do a review with them. Trenton.
Maybe beat Trent by 1. Yes.
And 11th grade they're not too far off from Groseal.
No.
Woodhaven.
Woodhaven, yeah, they're
It's
killing it.
interesting though that like
Yeah,
Groseal
what's
is
going on?
struggling
They're
with
just
science,
jumping in
you know,
Yeah,
like.
so, yeah, I know, some of their scores are just
Especially
really
given
Woodhaven,
geographic,
Riverview.
like we're, yeah.
Yeah,
They
just,
all
yeah.
put Trenton.
Even Trenton on some of those are really.
Some of them.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
some of
what,
them.
you know, that's what makes it
Riverview's
even
pretty consistent.
complicated.
I mean,
Like what
good, like, good score.
happened in their school, like there's so many
Yeah.
things
They've been
that
consistent over the last 3 years.
what took place,
rankings.
that we're just looking at one piece of the information.
Good stuff though, all in all.
Yeah, but look
Yeah.
at, it's like
Although Lincoln
across the
Park.
board, like look at Groseal, between 5th grade and 11th grade, there's a significant drop.
Yeah.
Our drop wasn't as
As significant,
significant,
right.
Yeah.
but, you know, we didn't start as high either. But look at Woodhaven stayed pretty steady.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Riverview actually improved,
Each year,
yeah.
each testing cycle.
What do they do?
Yeah, I think Riverview is the big, the one we were like,
Yeah.
look at that program. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling Steve called us, the two that give me, Groseal's in a different, you know,
Yeah, they're different
it's different,
demographics.
it's hard to, yeah, I don't even really look at Groseal much, but the
I do.
Riverview and Trenton, kind of feel a little bit more, of course, like we said, Gibraltar, of course, but
Woodhaven's
they've been consistent, what he always says. Good stuff though.
Your social studies.
Now, just look at the growth in Riverview.
Yeah.
5th grade to 11. That's huge.
Same with Trenton, 27 to 46.
Look at 60, I think, grade 60.
Wyandotte. Wyandotte.
That's huge too. Hate to say, kinda nice to see Lincoln Park and Melnet improving too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at Grove Seal, that one's interesting. They went down.
This is
Would
the
you
kid in
agree?
Greenwood.
Yeah, look at Lincoln Park's numbers though. That's hard. That's so low.
This is the kid
Yeah,
where you
but,
said there was
you
a.
know.
It's a tough, yeah, for sure.
This is
Yeah,
our
I mean,
baseline.
they're-
Yeah,
they're,
we have
they're
here,
special ed population,
this is
so
our
they
base,
work
so
with all of it.
moving forward, we'll be able to compare to this.
I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah.
If they did it in standard
Yeah, for
setting.
sure.
They,
Maybe
that's
nice change.
mostly
Yeah.
ESL, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Any fun? I could look at data all night, but.
I know.
Honestly,
But now it's like,
I'm
where do we
extremely
go?
excited.
Right.
Yeah, I think we had great data, great scores, proud of everything we're doing. I think as Laura was, our program's working, and we took these initiatives with the board support to buy into the program, and it takes a little bit of time. But we're seeing a lot of things really starting to click, and that's what's exciting. It is neat to see different schools, also that have a program that we can look at and say, hey, listen, like a review or whatever, like, it is interesting to have that discussion of what they're doing a little differently that we can, learn from or whatever it might be. But I truly believe in our program. I believe the vision that we had. I believe the vision that we've been fortunate enough with board support to carry out and to continue to build. And we're having the dialogue that's happening within the buildings, within the classrooms and departments is so far different now than it was even 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Just so different, and that's a good feeling. It truly is. And even the leadership, like all the way across, from Steve and his team to Donnie and his team into our elementaries. Like I say, we having different conversations with Steve at Arno to the other elementaries and seeing how we can kind of bridge some of those things, and with those coaches, even when the coaches say, hey, it is different in the buildings, try to capture that of why is it different, and we still have, we still try to offer a lot of flexibility to our teachers within their classrooms so that they feel they're ready to take on a new initiative. And that's one of the things we do see, and we do struggle with a little bit as a district, even our science. Right now we're introducing a science, but we're allowing a lot of our elementary teachers to kind of ease into that program. And so one of the concerted efforts we're doing this year with our administrative team is saying, hey, all of your new staff members, the brand new who don't know the difference, should start with our new program.
Mm-hmm.
That should be a non-negotiable. The teachers who've been using the other program, who are used to it, they can wean back in and learn, and so they're doing 1 chapter or 2 chapters of the new stuff, and then they're going back into what they know. But the new teachers shouldn't have that option. The teachers, this is the program that we've provided.
Mm-hmm.
This is the direction we're moving, and allow the other ones to get on board. And that's what Mary's doing right now. We're working with a lot of those staff members. But I do think we offer flexibility, and I do think that makes our teachers much more comfortable. That it's not a dictatorship to say you must, and it's allowing them to come on. And that does take a little time. But I think we're doing it the right way. I do.
I just know there are times when teachers feel very passionately about the successes they've had, and they've outperformed, typically their cohort group, and it's like, why should I change? I am, I'm getting this done.
Right.
And that's a good question. It's fair. That's a fair question.
And when we've allowed that, we have perfect example. It was Sean Danz over at Benny. he was not doing, small group as much as we were, but his scores were outstanding. And so when we met with Sean, he's, this is working, and it continued. It was working for him, and it was working in his classes, in his teaching style. But again, his scores were out of the market. It was great,
So that's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. So we offer flexibility.
If it's not broken.
Yeah, don't fix it, yeah.
Any other questions for Heather? All right, thank you so much, Heather, for your time. That then takes us to citizens' comments pertaining to the agenda items. Do we have any today?
No, we didn't.
All right. That then takes us to personnel. Mr. Darga.
We are recommending that individuals as listed be employed. The candidates were interviewed and recommended by committee. Positions became available as a result of bid pool, resignation, or retirement. As appropriate, background checks have been conducted. Tamer Al Almara, lunch paraprofessional, Lindeman. Shannon Armstrong, independence paraprofessional, Lindeman. Sarah Bach-Gelvin, independence paraprofessional, Benny. Jennifer Brooks, lunch paraprofessional, Lindeman. Andrew Crawford, midnight custodian, Elbrook High School. Tessa Martinez, special education department aide, Benny. Jacqueline Riedel, special education department aide, Lindeman. And Christy Tyra, lunch paraprofessional, Benny.
I move that the recommendations for employment and services be approved by the board for the individuals as listed.
Support.
It's been moved by Jeanette and supported by Mike. Is there any further discussion?
I'm assuming all been properly vetted.
That's correct.
Drug tested, fingerprinted,
All the
that.
paperwork's come back, yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations to the new staff members. Resignations, Mr. Darga.
Riyadh Buddha, assistant unified bowling coach, Elbrook High School, and Anna Garcia, preschool aide, APCC.
Thank you. All right, old business, our district attorney.
Just a quick question.
Yeah,
on
please.
resolutions. We had talked about implementing exit interviews, or is there any plan of doing that? Or
Yeah, so I've actually met with Jocelyn, our new HR coordinator, and she's looking up different, there's different online things that they can fill out. And then in the past, if we've had newer teachers that had left, I've done phone interviews, just to see kind of why are they moving on and stuff like that. We actually had one teacher this year that started with us, came to the new teacher orientation, then showed up and came into our PD sessions, and after the first night she resigned. So we were away, and then it was with Matt Sokol's department, so he called her to say, hey, what happened? And kind of learned a little bit from her perspective of, what happened, and now we're re-interviewing and things of that nature, just to kind of get a better idea of, because again, she wasn't even long, she didn't see any students, it was just more the process, and she said it was just more of a fit. She was at a stage in her life that she was, at that time, she was 5 years of doing independent stuff, and the more she was going through the different motions and different things of back into a classroom and all this, she kind of started to get a little bit feeling anxiety and like, I don't know if I need this. So she decided not to carry through. So yeah. We want to get something a little more formal.
All right, that takes us to old business, the district attorney representation. Mr. Darga, do you have anything to?
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, we would love it, thank you.
I move that the Elm Park Board of Education retain Foley and Robinette PC as district legal counsel for AP Public Schools as presented in the proposal submitted to the Board of Education.
Support.
There's been a motion by Mike Klein and supported by Jeanette. Is there any further discussion?
That's just effective immediately then?
Yeah, so they'll really should.
Yeah, I'll call him tomorrow.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, motion carries. That takes us to superintendent's report.
Actually, we had outstanding welcome back with our staff PD sessions. Been a great start to the school year. It was very exciting. Make sure you guys continue to check out the activities calendar. There's so much. The fall is just incredible with the different activities that go on within all of our buildings. We are hosting our 75th anniversary. Homecoming is Friday, September the 19th with all the activities. We got the parade and all that good stuff. So there's a lot happening. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Kathy just ordered all of our candy, so. Yeah, so.
Is there ever enough?
Never enough. I was telling her, there's never enough.
By the time you get to the library.
I know, yeah. It's like,
You get to hide
we're trying to figure out how many
some
bags
from
do we really need, like we were trying to figure that out,
I also heard something with the parade, we invited,
Other than that.
like, it's gonna be a huge parade or
Yeah, they're trying to get alumni
something.
and stuff like that, and I've not gotten the numbers yet of who all's participating and all that, but yeah, they've tried to.
Like all past valedictorians
Yeah.
and things like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, one of Dominic's, Lucy Shear
Yeah.
was valedictorian, I think he was, are you coming, she lives in Pittsburgh.
Oh.
Are you coming in? He's trying to get her to come in.
Yeah.
Wait, Lucy went to Arno, didn't she?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure,
Yeah,
where her
she
parents
lives-
live.
she lives in Harrison.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why.
I'm just, figuring out my head. Data.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I like it. Anything else for your report?
No.
All right, that takes us to citizens' comments again pertaining to non-agenda items. Do we have any?
We do that.
All right. That takes us to reports of officers. We will actually start with Laura today since she has something to report for us.
Oh, Jason and I attended the Summer Institute in Lansing with MASB. It's a scaled down version for those listening or anyone not aware of like what one of our big conferences are, where you have the opportunity to take CBA classes. CBA classes, they're for our Certified Board Member Awards program, not ours, through MASB, where school board members can take these classes to reach certification levels or earn specialty certificates. The names of the classes are pretty much self-explanatory. I brought my books at the end if anybody wants to see exactly what we did there. On Friday, Jason and I were in two of the same classes. One was advanced school law and the other was leveraging feedback. And then his third class, he asked me to report on behalf of him. I'm not speaking for Jason. He asked, since he couldn't be here tonight, he had taken Shaping Public Opinion, and I took Leading with Purpose. And then on Saturday, Jason was in Strategic Planning and Goal Setting and Practical Advocacy, and I was in Advanced Community Relations. And it was a great weekend as always. MASB is always fabulous hosts. Thank you, Kathy, accommodations and getting us registered and signed up. Can never thank you enough because you always do a fantastic job. And hotel was great. MASB gives you more food than you can ever possibly.
Yeah,
You
right.
leave there that weekend going, oh boy, I need to hit the gym, which I don't do, but still think it every single time. And I think Jason would agree with me in the conversations that we have at lunch and dinner and stuff that, one of the, in addition to like the professional development that we receive there, I would think that we both agree that like some of the biggest takeaway and the highlight is the pleasure networking there and the learning from shared ideas and experiences in an environment where you're, with your peers, because here it's really, it's different when you're in a whole group of you being able to discuss what you do and listening to the different stories and ideas, and it's always just a great time, and I look forward to the leadership conference in October. Thank you.
It's interesting, the last one we went to at Mackinac Island, I went to one of the sessions and 3 different schools after reached out to get SCIBA's cell phone policy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they all emailed me after, and I was sent it out to 3 different districts that were at
Yeah.
Mackinac, all across the state that were like, because I did we had to do a quick presentation, I did our cell phone policy.
Yeah.
And, so it is neat networking, it's just a really neat thing.
The group activities where you're with the different districts of different sizes and different demographics and hearing their approaches to, to everything, we talk about everything there. So hearing the different approaches and getting the different ideas and everything, you always come back feeling like I do anyway, just feeling hyped up and encouraged and just like, I want to do that, that was great, and don't want to,
It's also interesting to hear some of the districts compared, knock on wood, but, I always feel so good with our team and where we're headed compared to some stories you hear with other districts. And the challenges that you hear that they're facing and their district is facing, And you really walk away a lot of times with this this sense of pride and honor of like, we're doing good stuff. Like, and compared, and you hear these different things, but you're always just kind of like, okay, at least we don't have that,
Yeah.
Whatever it might be, and we've not encountered that yet, and things like that. So that's a good feeling also.
For the last two Sarah and I were at together, which was not Lansing, I couldn't go to that one, I don't know if you got to, but, we said the same thing.
Yeah.
We're like, whoa,
Yeah.
okay, we don't got that,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so that was a later night conversation that we got to have as well, that, same exact scenario
Yeah.
is what's going on. But I feel recharged every time I come home too.
Yeah.
Who's going to all of Traverse City? I know I am.
Yeah.
Are you going too? Okay, I know you can't this time. Is Jason going? Okay.
Jason, myself.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
absolutely.
still going, Mike? I thought you opted out.
The upcoming one?
In Traverse City, yeah.
He could, no, you just couldn't do Lansing,
Well,
right?
I couldn't do the
Well, I thought it was October, you
Yeah,
said you couldn't.
no, we've got, in October, I've got the one with, Jason Skiba coming up,
Yeah.
cause that's the AASL one.
Oh,
He's
that'll
getting a
be
national
cool.
award, so we have to fly out for that one.
That'll be cool, good for
Yeah.
him. Fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I absolutely share your excitement when I come back from this.
Yeah, I just wanna, do more, be better, you're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have sticky notes everywhere, so
Yeah.
they laugh at me with my different colors. All right, thank you so much. And so then we'll just go around. Sarah?
Nothing to report.
Mike?
No report.
Jeanette?
Report.
Steve?
Ditto.
All right. I don't have
Thanks to
a,
Heather for all
yeah. I don't have a report, but I do have 3 kids in the district at different grade levels. So, I just wanted to publicly give a quick shout out to our staff and our teachers. They made the first week amazing, as always. My kids came home and my 6th grader was so scared. So, but he came home just so excited and enthusiastic, probably because he had this Mrs. Martin lady for English. But he was so excited and, like just M&Ms, that's right. I love middle school. Oh my goodness, lunch, by the way, lunch is apparently amazing. So good job on the lunchroom there as well. But just a huge shout out to the teachers, especially because we have all, like, with 3 different kids, I have teachers at all the different buildings, and it has just been absolutely phenomenal. I ask my kids all the time, what was your favorite part of the day? And as of right now, week 1, who's your favorite teacher? Okay, do you have a least favorite teacher? And I've always asked that, and never can they say I've had a least favorite teacher. I love all my teachers. I love all my teachers. I love all my teachers. So, I mean, that's something to say about Allen Park in itself. So, and I think that's awesome. And I have kids at my kids are not just different grade levels, they're also at different educational growth levels, right? So, I thought that was pretty cool, and something that I think those teachers should know, that they're doing a wonderful job. So thank you so much for making after school time at my house very, very positive. All right, so if there is nothing else, anybody else have anything? All right, we are going to adjourn the meeting at 8:15. Thank you all so